From Long Island, we bring you to the campus of Stony Brook University. It is a Sunday CAA showdown on SNY as Keshana Washington, one of the top scorers in the country, comes into town with the Drexel Dragons, ready to battle it out with Annie Warren and the Stony Brook Seawolves, looking to defend home court. Let's take a look at our CAA standings. Drexel currently tied for first place with North Carolina A&T, and Stony Brook right on its heels, just a half game out in third. We bring you courtside. Sam Niederman, Rob Pavanelli, happy to have you with us. It is no doubt the biggest game that Stony Brook has played so far in its debut season for the CAA, Pav. We've been waiting for this one for a little bit.
And Stony Brook has certainly been waiting for it. They were manhandled in Philadelphia last time these two teams played, but Stony Brook looking for some revenge back here on the road where they are 9-1 on the season.
Yeah, that first game was a 17-point Drexel win. Let's take a look at our keys to the game. It's Pav's Points presented by Four Seasons Roofing. What are you looking for in this one, partner?
Well, for Drexel, they have to limit Stony Brook's open looks. They don't want Warren getting off from beyond the arc, and they have to take care of the basketball. They have 117 less turnovers than their opponents do, the Dragons. And for Stony Brook, they have to be balanced on the defensive end. And what I mean by that, they can't just concentrate on Washington. They can't let other players hurt them like they did in the first matchup. And they have to attack and recognize Drexel's matchup zone, get to the basket, and kick it out.
And we are ready to jump it up at center circle. It's Sharice Pittman for Stony Brook, Kylie Lavelle for Drexel, both at 6'2". Hillary Harwell, Jorge Martinez, and Mike May are officials. And we are underway on Long Island, Stony Brook, and its biggest CAA test here in year one of the conference. Seawolves get to work on offense, swing it in the corner. Marla King, Day Allman attacks Washington off the bounce. Gonzalez with a corner three. Off the mark, and the rebound for Kylie Lavelle and Drexel.
Good first possession for Stony Brook. They were active against the zone. Drexel's going to throw so many different looks at Stony Brook out of that zone. They'll throw some man-to-man. They'll switch. They'll man. It's really difficult to understand at times.
There's the first shot of the game for Keshana Washington, and she misses it short. One of the best scorers in the nation at 26 points per game. Annie Warren with a jumper rolls off the rim, and Washington has the board.
Two good looks for the Seawolves.
Dragons want to push the tempo a little bit. They are one of the best offenses in the league. Very efficient, Pav. 17 assists a game as a team. They turn it over, the 7th fewest in the entire country, only giving it away 12 times a game.
No, they're great with the basketball. What makes their offense so tough, Sam, is they can get you in transition. If they don't have something right away, they really execute so well in half-court offense.
The first foul of the game called against Gigi Gonzalez on the arm. Let's take a look at our starting lineups presented by Jake's 58. It's the same lineup that Stony Brook's gone with the last 12 games. Again, no Nairimar Vargas, normal starter. She's been out with a lower leg. Ashley Langford's the head coach. And for Drexel, Keshana Washington, Grace O'Neal, a terrific true freshman running the point.
As well as Lavelle, another sensational freshman. This is a Drexel team that has a nice mix of veteran leadership with two terrific freshmen. And getting back to that Stony Brook starting five, the Stony Brook starting five has scored 157 of the last 163 points for Stony Brook in the last two games. Incredible.
It's been remarkable. Remember, 2 games ago against Charleston, the bench did not score a single point. Meanwhile, Drexel's taken the league. Hedda Satman just knocked down 1 of 2 free throws. Day Allman open for 3, banked it off, but the offensive rebound by Sharice Pittman. Second chance for the Seawolves.
Stony Brook really has to be active on the offensive glass tonight.
Allman's second chance off the back iron. Pittman, another offensive rebound, rejected by Lavelle.
And there's that freshman we were talking about.
Kylie Lavelle out of Music, PA, 6'2". Stony Brook 0 for its first 3. Washington down the hatch, it's a 3.
Yeah, way too much daylight there for Washington. Drexel will use those flare screens all game long. They read and react off them. That time, wide open look for Washington.
Got a foul called underneath the basket. It's going to go against Kylie Lavelle. It's her first. And that'll give Stony Brook the ball underneath the hoop. Pav, you mentioned it in the open. It was a tough go the first time against Drexel. Ashley Langford, Stony Brook's head coach, feels like they're a different team this time around.
Oh, they certainly are. They're playing some good basketball. They're winners of 9 out of their last 11. And as Annie Warren takes it to the hoop and gets the first bucket for the Seawolves. But they're playing well. You know, you get punched in the face a little bit. They were down 30 at times during that first matchup against Drexel. Did not shoot the ball well. And they turned the ball over. They really got outscored in that second and third quarters. Stony Brook needs to play 40 minutes of basketball today if they're going to come away with the victory.
They force a rare Drexel turnover there off of the pressure, something we've seen from the Seawolves this season. They like to extend the pressure into the backcourt a little bit.
They're going to have to utilize their athleticism. They're a little more athletic than Drexel. They have to press a little bit, turn them over, and get some easy buckets.
Pittman misses from inside the foul line. And Drexel's made another stop. 4-2 start for the Dragons. Chloe Hodges trying to run the floor, and that's thrown away. Second turnover in a row for the Dragons.
And you're not going to see that often out of Mara Hendrickson, one of the best passers in the country. She's third in the country in assists with 7.6 assists a game. And that's 2 back-to-back turnovers, very uncharacteristic of the Dragons.
Stony Brook off to a slow start offensively. The Seawolves just 1 for their first 7 from the floor.
And again, this matchup zone is going to give you fits. They're so active. They communicate so well. And that's going to be a turnover on Warren. Might have gotten knocked out of bounds, but last touch by Warren.
So Annie Buckets turns the ball over. Stony Brook's leading scorer, 17 points per game. Looking to set a record today. She needs 2 3-pointers to become the school's all-time leader in 3-pointers made. We'll keep an eye on that as the game progresses. And there's another Drexel turnover. The sure-handed Mora Hendrickson, just threw it away to Grace O'Neill.
Yeah, and O'Neill was wide open underneath the basket. Just a little too much heat on that pass by Hendrickson. And in watching them preparing, we've watched Drexel play so many times. Hendrickson is such an elite passer. She's got great vision, and the way she delivers the basketball at times, just too hot to handle.
Over 7.5 assists per game for Hendrickson, which is 3rd best in the country. There's a nice look inside. Marla King with a layup off the feed from Pittman.
And how well has Marla King been playing of late? The last 2 games, she has been sensational. She had 22 and 10 in the win against Towson and 12 and 8 against College of Charleston.
Washington from the top of the key. Off the back iron. Pittman able to extend for the rebound. Marla King coming off of that double-double, as Pav mentioned, a surprise performance a week ago. Warren for 3. Off the mark. And the rebound by Grace O'Neill.
And that's a second good look for Warren in her office.
Washington, no good on the jumper. And a foul called underneath the basket. It's going to go against Stony Brook. I think they got Warren. They did get Warren. It's her first and the team's second.
Yeah. Chloe Hodges really active on the offensive glass. Been playing really well of late. Active. She's been a big key to this Drexel success.
Junior from Australia. Washington again, not afraid to take shots, and that time she draws the foul.
And that's, breaking the cardinal rule. You never foul a jump shooter, even if it is Kishana Washington. Just get your hand up, make it a difficult look. You don't want her going to the free throw line, where she just does such a good job of getting there. Has taken 144 free throws on the season.
83% free throw shooter. The foul was on Khalees Corley. And Washington hits the first. 26 points per game. She's coming off a 29-point performance on Friday against Northeastern. Look at the numbers, 44% from the floor, 34% from downtown. It's her best statistical season yet. 5th-year player from Ontario, Canada.
And she just makes it look so effortless, Sam. She's just so smooth, can pull up on a dime, knock down that little jump shot, can take you to the basket, and can also knock down the triple. She's had 7 games this season of over 30 points, including a career-high 42 against Penn State.
Remarkable, an overtime win for Drexel back in December. 6-4 lead for Drexel. Cerise Pittman knocks down the elbow jumper.
And Pittman's been real effective with that move of late. That catches it around the elbow, gives you a little jab, fake, step back, and knocks down the jumper.
And Pittman with a good assist, and now the jumper. She's got 2, and we are tied up at 6 with 5:39 to play in the opening quarter. Mora Hendrickson out top for Drexel.
And you're just seeing an array of flare screens here, trying to free up a shooter for Drexel.
Washington with 4 on the shot clock. Spin move, left-hand layup, no good. Pittman gobbles up another rebound.
And Pittman doing a great job on the glass. Stony Brook limiting Drexel to 1 shot, 1 and done.
We're tied up at 6 early. First place on the line in the conference in this one. Gonzalez, little forearm shiver. That's offensive.
And Grace O'Neal, you mentioned only a freshman, but does not play like a freshman. Sam, high IQ, really knows how to play the game of basketball, does it all. She's the leading rebounder for the Dragons at about 5'6", 5'7". You know, so just such a competitor.
They raved about her ever since they got her in the offseason. Meanwhile, Gigi Gonzalez just picked up her second foul, so she's on the bench. Under 5 to play in the first. Chloe Hodges with it on the wing. Here's Jasmine Valentine, who's checked off the bench. O'Neal out top. 9 on the timer. Hendrickson whips it in. Washington fading away. Got it. Nice move. Keishana Washington. She's got 7.
Great look by Hendrickson, and nice job by Washington. Regained composure. Went to that little jump hook and knocked it down. Let's see how Stony Brook handles this without Gonzalez on the floor, the reigning CAA Player of the Week. She's been sensational.
Pittman, little jab and jumper. Her signature move. She hits it again. 4 for Cerise Early.
And has really been working on that move of late and just freezes the defender with that quick little jab step because she can really has a terrific first step.
Tied up for the 3rd time already here in the first quarter. Entry for Hodges gets knocked away, and here come the Seawolves in transition. Khalees Corley. Back outside for Warren. Swing it to Almond. Backs in against Hodges. Hard into the paint. Day-Day Almond, nice take. Off the window for 2.
Great job by Almond. She might have gotten fouled a couple times on that drive to the basket, but able to regain the composure and finish. And again, that's what Stony Brook needs to do. They need to attack this zone, attack the gaps of the zone.
Valentine forces it home for Drexel. Tied up at 10 apiece with 3.5 to go in the first quarter. Stony Brook didn't play a game during the week. They've got fresher legs. Drexel coming off the road win against Northeastern on Friday. But both teams coming out here giving it all in the early going as Pittman gets fouled on the arm. And that'll take us to our first timeout. 3:17 to play in the first quarter. And Stony Brook and Drexel going toe-to-toe, 10-10. We'll step aside here on SNY.
At Stony Brook Neurosciences Institute, we treat complex conditions involving the brain so Manny can keep creating new memories. We never stop innovating ways to treat neurological disorders so Sophie can get back to work. We propel cutting-edge epilepsy research forward so Cameron never has to look back. Tackling life-changing conditions to help you regain your strength. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
At H2M, we play to win. Architecture, engineering, sustainability. We compete to be the best there is. We believe in teamwork. Working together, building together, winning together.
Bring you back inside Island Federal Arena here at Stony Brook. Stony Brook and Drexel tied up at 10 apiece. Get a look at both of our head coaches this afternoon. Presented by Four Seasons Sunrooms. Ashley Langford, second-year head coach of the Seawolves. Get a look at the resume. Off to a tremendous start. Was an assistant in this league, the CAA at James Madison. took the Seawolves to the NIT last year. And then on the Drexel side of things, Amy Mallon in her 3rd season as a head coach at DU. Of course, she was a longtime assistant for Denise Dillon, 16 years on the staff, so no stranger to the program, and she's definitely continued a tradition of success in the program, Pav. NCAA tournament 2 years ago and a Sweet 16 run in the NIT last season.
Yeah, pretty darn good. She's been to the championship game 2 years in a row. Beat Drexel, then went to the NCAAs, lost to Georgia. Last year, got upset by Delaware in the finals, and after a 28-6 season, she just had an incredible year. They went to the WNIT, as you mentioned, lost to Seton Hall in the Sweet 16 of the WNIT. Tremendous player in her own right, sensational player at Richmond and at St. Joseph's.
Yeah, she's in the Philly Big Five Hall of Fame. Charisse Pittman at the line, misses both free throws.
And this is a Drexel team that graduated 4 starters from last year. 4 terrific starters: Hannah Nyhill, Mariah Leonard, Tessa Brugler, and Kate Conley, and still picked number 1 preseason.
And they've been playing like it all season long, 8-2 in the conference. Thanks in part to Keishana Washington, who's already got 9, Pav.
It's not bad when you're once returning starters, Keishana Washington, though.
9 points for Washington in the first quarter. Pittman turns it over. It's Washington who picks her pocket. 3-on-1 break for the Dragons. Give and go. And Washington denied at the basket.
Great hustle by Corley getting back.
Stony Brook in transition. Almond able to float it home with the right hand. Knotted up at 12 as Day Almond gets her 4th point.
I really like the way Stony Brook has come out in this game. They've been very aggressive on the defensive end. They certainly remember everything that happened in Philly last time these teams played.
Kylie Lavelle outside for 3. How about the freshman knocking it down from downtown?
And Lavelle can shoot it. And this is a young lady. In her first 5 games, she averaged over 20 points. She had 31 against LaSalle. Hurt her foot, is starting to get back in form and starting to play pretty good once again for Drexel.
They've been easing her back in the lineup. Pittman with the answer at the other end. Whatever you can do, I can match it. That's 7 for Pittman. 6th time that we've been tied up already in this first quarter.
Stony Brook just has to maintain the intensity. They can't allow it slip away like they did in the 2nd and 3rd quarters last time these 2 teams matched up.
Lavelle off the lip of the rim, not that time, but Washington with the offensive rebound. Tough off the jump stop. Falling away, she's got 11.
Nice job creating space with that little step back. Initiated the contact and then faded away, and that is her bread and butter.
Washington with 11 of 17 for Drexel. Got another offensive foul on Stony Brook, this time on Nai Toong, coming off the bench, the transfer from St. Louis. So that'll give it back to Drexel, and that is the 5th team foul on Stony Brook. Drexel will be in the bonus the rest of the quarter. Marla King into the game for Stony Brook. Remember, Gigi Gonzalez on the bench with 2 fouls right now. Washington from the baseline, and she gets fouled. They got her again on the jump shot.
And again, you can't do that against Washington. Go straight up, get your hands up, make it as difficult to 2 as possible, but you can't follow through and send it to the line for 2 easy points.
So Keishana Washington back at the free throw line. One of the best players, not only from a mid-major, but in the country. I mean, you look at the company that she has leading scoring. I mean, Maddie Segrist at Villanova, fellow Philadelphia player.
Caitlin Clark, not a bad player out of Iowa.
Exactly.
Wow, she is fun to watch.
Reese at LSU. I mean, you go down the list. These are some big-time stars that Keishana Washington is right up there with in terms of scoring. Knocks down a pair and extends the Drexel lead to 4 as Charisse Pittman comes back into the game for Stony Brook.
And Washington certainly had opportunities to go somewhere else, play her graduate season. Well, as you mentioned, one of the top scorers in the country, but she loves it here. I play a lot. I love it here. It's a great academic institution. I'm having a great career. Why would I want to go anywhere else?
Now she's in her first year of grad school, working on a master's degree in psychology. As Annie Warren walks with it, and Stony Brook gives it back. 5th turnover of the quarter for the Seawolves.
And Stony Brook can't have those careless turnovers. You're going to turn the basketball over, but you can't travel driving against the zone. Take care of the basketball.
Less than a minute to go in the first quarter. Drexel off to a 19-15 start. We've been tied up pretty much this whole opening frame. Keishana Washington working on a 13-point performance. 7 on the timer. Washington lofts a 3. Wedged it short. And Allman clears the possession for Stony Brook.
And I think the crowd had a little bit to do with it. They were counting down 3-2-1 when Washington still had about 7 seconds left to go on the clock.
Got to credit the band as Day Allman gives it away. Lavelle with the interception, and Drexel can hold here for the last shot.
And again, that's that Drexel matchup zone causing some fits. They switch, they trade, they communicate extremely well. You're not exactly sure what you're going to get.
Lavelle off the mark from 3. Last couple of seconds, Stony Brook gets the rebound, and that'll be it for the first quarter. Drexel off to a 19-15 lead on the road. Second quarter coming your way after this on SNY. Back here at Stony Brook, second quarter about to begin. Drexel leads Stony Brook 19-15. Sam Niederman along with Ron Pavanelli. It's the second time that these two teams have met this season. Drexel, as we mentioned, whooped Stony Brook in the first game in Philly. They won it by 17. It wasn't as close as that score indicates. The Dragons had a big lead for most of the game, and Keishana Washington led them with 27 points, 10 of 19 from the floor in that performance. Pav, different start to the game. What'd you see in the first quarter?
Well, I like what Stony Brook did early on in this first quarter. They were very active defensively, limiting Drexel to one and done. Drexel got going a little bit on the offensive end, and Stony Brook's got to do a better job taking care of the basketball. Too many careless turnovers in the first quarter.
Now they gave it away 6 times. Remember, Gigi Gonzalez is on the bench right now for Stony Brook with 2 fouls that she picked up in the first quarter. Seawolves point guard.
Let's see how long Ashley Langford sits her on the bench. You don't want her picking up her third here in the first half. Down 4 right now. If it gets open, and there's a big jumper there by Hendrickson. If Drexel starts to build this lead, which they now have their largest lead of the game of 7, you're going to have to go back to Gigi Gonzalez and get her on the court.
Maura Hendrickson for 3. Stretches the lead to 7. Excellent fifth-year player for Drexel as Allman misses in close, and then a whistle underneath. Looks like a foul against Nai Tawong. That's quickly her second off of the bench, and the team's first to start the second quarter.
And this is where it got away last time. Stony Brook was outscored 27-8 in the second quarter, 19-10 in the third quarter, and they're struggling to score the basketball right now, shooting 7 for 15 from the floor.
Washington off the cut. Tough corner jumper. It's an air ball. And Marla King runs with the rebound for Stony Brook. Seawolves trying to work against this Drexel defense. That's the #1 scoring defense in the CAA. They only allow 59 points per game. Warren dumps it into Pittman, who's gotten off to a good start. 9 points for her here in the first half.
Beautiful look there by Annie Warren. Uses that high screen. Both defenders shifted over to Warren, and a nice dish.
Stony Brook back within 5. Seawolves winners of 9 of their last 11 on a 3-game win streak since they lost to North Carolina A&T on the road. Chloe Hodges can't quite finish. It rolls off the rim. She's been red hot in conference play, shooting 75% coming into today. Marla King drives to the basket, works on Hodges, and gets fouled, fading away. She'll be at the line. First foul on Hodges and the first on Drexel here in this second quarter. Marla King at the free throw line for Stony Brook. Nai Tawong will go to the bench with the 2 fouls. Lauren Fillion comes into the game, true freshman who has rarely seen action so far this season.
Again, we talk about, the somewhat lack of depth by Stony Brook. They're not getting a lot of points off the bench. Last time these two teams met, Drexel got 19 points off the bench, and that was a big difference in this basketball game.
Marla King's a 73% free throw shooter, coming off of that 22-point, 10-rebound performance last Sunday against Towson, the best game of her career.
There's certainly a coming-out party for King, and she's going to have to do more of the same today.
Back to a 1-score game, 3-point lead for Drexel. 8-minute mark here in the first half. Grace O'Neal looking for space, finds Hendrickson. Washington finds a cutting O'Neal, who's rejected by Fillion.
Making her presence felt quickly.
The true freshman with the rejection. Let's see if Stony Brook can take some momentum. Fillion from downtown, and she cans it. How about that?
How about that? Some contributions off the bench. The big shot clock, and then the knockdown triple, and Stony Brook on a 6-0 run.
Where did that come from? Lauren Fillion, the true freshman, getting it done on both ends.
Sometimes you just have to seize your opportunities. Has not seen a lot of playing time, as you mentioned, but making her presence felt.
22 all, Washington backing in, 7 on the timer. Keishana Washington off the back iron, but again, she draws another foul, this one on Day Almond.
I'd like to maybe have seen Stony Brook run a quick double there at Washington. She's a very unselfish player and a terrific passer, but once she gets you in that lane and backs you down, she's so tough to guard.
So Washington will be at the free throw line. 4 for 4 at the line so far this afternoon, and you can make it 5 for 5. She's got 14. Take another look at Fillion showing off the range.
And that was deep after you just checked into the basketball game. You get the block shot and you come down and shot it with confidence.
True freshman from Cohoes, New York. Washington makes them both. Now she's got 15 of Drexel's 24. No surprise. 7 and change to play in the first half. Stony Brook down by a deuce. Almond around the screen, and she banks it home. +1. They're going to get Hedda Satman on the foul. That's her first. And Day Almond will go to the line to try and get a 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
And Stony Brook's doing a really nice job of screening against his zone. Almond sheds the screen. The screen was going left, gave a little move like she was going left and took it to the basket, finishes, and she knocks down the old-fashioned 3-point play. And Stony Brook up 1.
Almond's got 7. She was not really a factor in the first meeting between these two. Ashley Langford thinks she can be an X factor today.
All right, she's a different Day Almond now. She's been playing really well down the stretch here in Colonial play. Had struggled a little bit early on finding her offensive flow, but she has been very good of late.
Hendrickson unselfish for Satman, who banks it home.
Yeah, good basketball right there. Fundamentally sound. 2 defenders out on Hendrickson, a wide open Satman for the layup.
6.5 to play first half. Drexel by a penny. Almond will stop and pop off the heel. Pittman had it for a second. And where's this one going to go? It's going to stay with Stony Brook.
And again, Almond exploring off that high screen, getting in the lane. That one just a little bit too long.
Almond will trigger it in. Bounces for King. A little toss back for Almond. Warren's been very quiet. Here's Pittman attacking in the lane. Couldn't get the roll. And Satman gets fouled by Fillion on the rebound.
Stony Brook hanging in here right now. Down 1, 2 points from Warren, no points from Gonzalez. And again, they've played 4 minutes here in this quarter without Gonzalez. They're still here, only down 1. So if I'm Ashley Langford, you want to extend this as long as possible. Keep her on the bench, so she doesn't pick up that third personal here in the first half.
6-minute mark here in the second quarter. Hendrickson finds Washington. Looking to clear out. 4 on the other side of the floor. She backs in against Allman. 10 to shoot. Washington shake and bake. No good, but she gets fouled again. It's going to be the second on Allman and maybe the 5th time that Washington has drawn contact on a jumper.
And again, that's a really tough shot. I mean, that's reminiscent of what you see in the NBA. They back you down and, that Kobe fadeaway jump shot. You just can't foul a shooter, especially when they're fading away 15 feet away from the basket. And I didn't see a lot of contact there. Maybe when she landed, I'm not exactly sure. But, when you're the best player in the conference, you're going to get a lot of those calls.
Now, she makes so much of her money here at the free throw line, as you mentioned, Pat. Now 7 for 7 on the game. They recruited her out of Canada. She's the first Canadian-born player to suit up for Drexel. One of 12 active players in women's college hoops right now with over 2,000 career points. And she knocks him down to make it 8 for 8 at the line. That is her 300th made free throw this season. .5:38 to play, first half. Allman gets blocked at the rim. Here's Pittman off the offensive rebound. 10 to shoot for Stony Brook, trailing by 3. Annie Warren. Offensive. Grace O'Neal takes the contact, going the other way. That's the second one on Warren, and she's going to have to come off to the bench. Erin Terrell comes into the game for Stony Brook, sophomore from Tallahassee.
And now Stony Brook, without Gigi Gonzalez and without Annie Warren on the court. Let's see how it is right now. 5 minutes left to go, down 3. Let's see if they can hang on right here. Dangerous point right now for the Seawolves.
Yeah, going to have to survive to the next whistle at the under 5. Inside for Hodges, who lays it home.
And a beautiful look once again by Hendrickson. This is a Drexel offense that is so well-oiled. They cut so well. They screen so well. They move without the basketball. They don't use the bounce much except for Washington. Everything is just kind of off a quick pick, screen and a good pass. And right now Drexel on a 6-0 run and another turnover by the Seawolves.
That's the 8th turnover for Stony Brook. It was a double dribble by Sharice Pittman. Drexel looking to stretch the lead here, already up by 5. Washington says make room. She's backing in, fade away. Short this time, and Fillion able to snatch the rebound.
And Amon's got to be careful. She has 2 personals as well. She's the only one really who can guard Kashana Washington on one-to-one basis.
Pittman got tangled up and eventually is called for a walk. There's not much he could do, putting a sticky spot there. It's another turnover for Stony Brook. Drexel will have it when we come back. The Dragons in control on the road by 5. Both of these programs have been some of the best mid-majors in all of women's college hoops. Both of them went to the NCAA tournament in 2021. Amy Mallon and her Dragons cut down the nets as CAA champions. First NCAA tourney appearance since 2009 for Drexel. Then Stony Brook went to its first ever NCAA tournament. Both of these programs kind of on the same trajectory as of late, Pav.
Oh, outstanding coaching. Carolyn McCombs took Stony Brook to the tournament. Now she's at GW. They lost to Arizona. Amy Mallon lost to Georgia as the 14th seed. But hey, Ashley Langford last year, she had this Stony Brook team rolling and primed to go to the NCAA tournament, and then they decided, the American East decided that they would not be eligible for postseason pay because of their move to the CAA, but they certainly could have gone to another NCAA tournament last year.
Washington swishes it home from the baseline. She's already got 19 here in the first half.
And Drexel could have gone back-to-back. They were the number 1 seed, 28 wins last year. They lost to Delaware in the championship on the performance of a lifetime. Jasmine Dickey, 27-18 in that championship game for Delaware. She's now active with the Dallas Wings.
Yeah, those are the kinds of nights that you remember forever. Drexel ended up going to the Sweet 16 of the NIT. Washington looking for more. This time a charge taken. Sharice Pittman stands her ground underneath.
And as hard as this is to believe, with 19 points, Stony Brook's done a pretty decent job on Washington. She's lived at the free throw line 8 for 8, but they're doing a good job making her shots tough. And that time, perfect position by Sharice Pittman, and that is a staple of Ashley Langford's defense. They're going to rotate, they're going to get great position, and they're always going to be outside of the restraining area.
Number 11 for Drexel just checked in, Tori Hajduk, a senior from New Jersey who scored 13, a career high against Stony Brook.
In 16 minutes.
The last time they played, yeah.
Came out on fire.
Corley, bank is open. Plus the foul. Khalees going to the line for a three-point play.
And Stony Brook really needs Corley to have a good game on the offensive end. Had a nice stretch midway through the season where she was scoring the basketball, shooting a three. A tremendous defensive player. But if she can provide a spark offensively as she does on this possession, that would be a big bonus right now for Stony Brook with Gonzalez and Warren on the bench.
A lot of foul trouble for Stony Brook early. Corley catches it in. It is a three-point play. And it's now a 4-point game, 32-28 Drexel, approaching 3.5 to go here in the first half. Maura Hendrickson with it on the wing. And an offensive foul, illegal screen called against Grace O'Neal for Drexel. That's a turnover.
And again, this is a Drexel team that their offense is so predicated on the back screen, on the flare screens. You have to stay still. They're tremendously well coached, but sometimes you just want to get a piece of somebody, free up your teammate. That one, a little too much action by O'Neal.
5 fouls on both teams now, Pav, in the bonus the rest of the way. Pittman using the glass as well. Nice shot. She's got 11 in the first half.
I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she was going glass on that one because it certainly looked that way, but usually she goes straight in with that one. Big bucket, down 2 right now. Stony Brook on a 5-0 run.
Under 3 to play. Hedda Satman walked with it. Turnover Drexel.
And again, a beautifully delivered pass by Hendrickson over the outstretched defense of Stony Brook. Big, tall guard with great vision. And as I mentioned, I just love the way she delivers the basketball with a lot of zip on it and only throws the pass where her teammate can catch the basketball.
She's got 5 assists so far today, but uncharacteristic 4 turnovers.
Trying to do too much a couple times.
Drexel's turned it over 7 times. They only averaged 12 per game. Little different on the road. King in the corner for 3. Got it. Ring it up for Marla King from distance. Stony Brook back on top.
And she continues her torch shooting from beyond the arc, and the Seawolves up 1.
Under 2.5 to play. 8-0 run for Stony Brook. Big time answer with Gonzalez and Warren both on the bench with 2 fouls. See if the defense can ride a little bit of the crowd. Hendrickson from downtown, and that's nowhere close. Air ball will give it back to the Seawolves with 2:10 to go before the break.
And let's see where Drexel's offense will come from with Washington on the bench. She's got 19 already in this ball game, and that possession did not look clean for the Dragons.
Stony Brook by 1, 2-minute mark, first half. Pittman working on an 11-point half. King wants another 3. This time it's short, and Lavelle's got the rebound for Drexel. Hendrickson zips it ahead. But Hodges lost it to steal by King. Seawolves will settle into the half court. Fillion almost had the heat check there.
Thought about it.
True freshman hit a big three earlier after blocking a shot at the other end. 1:30 to play in the half. Fillion wants it this time. Long. Hodges with the rebound at the other end.
Look for Drexel to take some time off the clock right here. Minute and a half, a little bit less than a minute and a half left. Their last couple possessions, they have not gotten a good shot.
Remember, in the bonus, they would be shooting with a foul. $1:08 to go, 10 on the shot clock. Bounce it in, Hajduk, rejected. Fillion flying in for the stuff.
How about the contributions of Laurian Fillion off the bench? 2 big blocks and a big 3. And it's on the exact same play that she made the block the last time. The flare cut this time by Hajduk, and Fillion comes over, rotates, and knocks it away.
3 on the timer for Drexel. Got to get it in and get it up. Throw it in for LaBelle. Backs in and banks it home, but it's offensive. Day Allman takes the charge on the block.
Allman did a pretty good job selling that one. Not a lot of contact there. That looked like a pretty good play by Drexel. Let's take another look at it. Pass goes inside. Not a lot of contact. She sold that pretty well, and we have to check to make sure. And the referees cannot check that if she was outside the restricted area.
So Stony Brook gets the ball off of that key call. Got a chance to build on a 1-point lead. Pittman, little dribble, and the jumper goes. Cerise Pittman feeling it in the first half with 13. It's a 3-point Seawolves lead. Largest of the game so far for Stony Brook. Drexel trying to find a bucket without Washington, and they do from Hajduk, who flashes in for 2.
A great back screen. Hajduk wide open, and another great delivery.
Shot clock turned off. 17 seconds to play in the half. Stony Brook up by 1. No Gonzalez, no Warren. Both have 2 fouls.
Yeah, look for Allman to get some sort of screen coming up here. Probably from Pittman. Here it is.
3 seconds. Allman back to Pittman. The jumper, good! Cerise Pittman with some punctuation on the first half here at Stony Brook. 15 for the transfer and a 12-2 run for the Seawolves heading into the locker room.
And you see Ashley Langford there giving some congratulations to Pittman. What a great first half she played. And Stony Brook up 3. Annie Warren with only 2 points, and Gigi Gonzalez didn't even play in that second quarter. Sensational job by the Seawolves.
I think Ashley Langford would take that every day as we go into the second half. 37-34 the score. Halftime coverage when we return on SNY.
From the studios at the School of Communication and Journalism, welcome to Stony Brook Media Group's Halftime Report, brought to you by Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I'm Alexis Savory. February 1st was the 37th Annual National Girls and Women in Sports Day, powered by the Women's Sports Foundation. This day recognizes student and professional athletes as well as the coaches, administrators, and lawmakers who work to provide equal access to sports for all girls and women. This is an especially important day as we are in our 50th year of the historic Title IX ruling. Now, let's take a look at what advice a Stony Brook professor gives to help students with financial literacy.
I would not say everybody should have a big exposure to blockchain technology or cryptocurrency, but that's another passion of myself. We are sitting in the blockchain business lab. And I want to stress that cryptocurrency is not a major part of personal finance. Yeah. If it can be, it will be a very small part. I would recommend my students to consider like a small fraction of their savings to gain exposure to blockchain technology, maybe through cryptos or through blockchain-related stocks. Everything starts with a dream. So you have to have that financial goals or financial dreams. And typically we would classify different financial goals in 3 layers. The lowest layer is what we call financial peace, right? So you don't want to have too much debt and you are caught overnight and you can't sleep well. And the second layer is what we call financial security. This is when you already have your basic lifestyle, basic life needs, education, retirement, whatever, taken care of. And the last layer is what we call financial freedom or financial independence. That's when you don't work for money, you work for fun, you work to fulfill your mission, your responsibility, and your contribution and impact to the world.
We have 2 MVPs this week, Cheryl Chambers and Judy Jaquez, both from the Office of Multicultural Affairs. They are the chairs of Black History Month, which is celebrating the contributions of the Pan-African community through the educational and cultural activities reflecting the theme Sankofa. Thank you, Cheryl Chambers and Judy Jaquez. That's it for us in the studio. We'll get you back out to the Island Federal Arena for first half stats and analysis after this.
You can experience the entire world right here.
Here at Stony Brook, the faculty treat students more like professionals.
Stony Brook helped me go further faster because I was able to get my bachelor's and master's in 5 years, and that helped me land my dream job.
There is that something for you out there if you're willing to go and find it. Coming together and feeling that sense of school spirit, that is one of my favorite experiences.
From the moment you step into Stony Brook's door, they are already encouraging you to do research and meet with professors. There's more we can accomplish together than we can apart.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm here to talk about Island Federal's cashback checking.
And I'm Bob from National Big Bank, here to talk about our free checking.
What's that?
Well, it's free as long as you adhere to our terms and conditions.
Oh my, and if you don't?
We remind you with a convenience fee.
Doesn't sound very convenient.
No, it's not.
Well, Island Federal is home to the cashback checking account. Cashback every time you use your debit card. No minimum balance, no monthly fees. Island Federal, you can bank on the power of if.
Stay where you play at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
Welcome back inside Island Federal Arena here at Stony Brook. It's halftime as Stony Brook leads Drexel 37-34. Back with you here courtside with Judy Brown Clark, the VP for Equity and Inclusion and the Chief Diversity Officer here at Stony Brook. Judy, it's so nice to have you here, our National Girls and Women's in Sports Day game. First off, your thoughts on what was a really good first half there?
It was a great first half. It was, it takes a little bit to settle in, but our ladies are absolutely moving that ball, getting it in. The threes are flowing, so really high energy game. Love it.
I think we're going to get more of it in the second half. We've got to get into your career resume as a former athlete, former Olympian, silver medalist of the 1984 Olympics here in Los Angeles, a 4-time national champion at Michigan State, 12-time Big Ten champion at Michigan State in track and field. What does your sports background mean to you on a day like this, National Girls and Women's in Sports Day?
What it means for me is like everything I do is grounded in sports, competition, offense, defense, resiliency, tenacity, goal setting. So I love that this is Women and Girls Sports Day and everything that, this is how you get leadership. And this is how you actually solve some of the more complicated things. So I'm loving watching this basketball game.
Love to go back to your time as an Olympian in '84. What were some of your favorite memories from that experience?
I think it was great because it was the first time I was back in the Northwest on U.S. soil, and so there was a tremendous amount of support, and you could feel it, and it was a lot of pride representing our nation. So I feel a lot of pride and had a fairly decent outcome.
Yeah, silver's not too bad. I don't think many people could say they got a silver medal. 400-meter hurdles, that's a tough event right there, too.
It is a tough, but it's very strategic. It's like getting over the hurdles is, you have to hurdle, then you have to sprint between there. So I love that it have both aspects of competition.
Real quick, take us through your training process when you were preparing for that.
It was a lot, I trained a lot. It was, sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes 6 hours a day. A lot of things are rest and good nutrition and just making decisions that keep you focused on whatever your end goal is, and that was to bring home an Olympic medal.
Judy, really a pleasure to have you here.
My pleasure.
Can't wait for the second half. Thank you for celebrating National Girls and Women's in Sports Day here at Stony Brook, and all the best as we continue the second semester here on campus.
Go Seawolves!
You heard it. Attaboy, Judy. Great to have you. Thanks for the time. We will be back in a moment with the second half. Stony Brook and Drexel here on SNY. Back here at Island Federal Arena, Stony Brook 37, Drexel 34. Getting ready to start the third quarter. Bring it back to our courtside booth. Sam Niederman along with Rob Pavanelli. Pav, really good first half there. It was back and forth. We had 8 ties, 5 lead changes, and just at the end there, Stony Brook able to take the lead without many of its key players on the floor.
No, it was a great first half for Stony Brook. They got key contributions, especially from Sharice Pittman, and this is a sensational first half. Great crowd, great atmosphere. Look for more of the same in a second.
Let's get into some of our first half highlights. Pav, it all started with Keishana Washington for Drexel.
It all started and ended with her. She got them going. She had a game-high 19 here in the first half, but Sharice Pittman answered every single call for Stony Brook. Again, in the lane, Washington with a couple of tough twos. She knocks both of those down. And then on the other end, Day Ahmed started to really get to the basket, attacking that zone. Maura Hendrickson had 6 assists, but she can also knock it down from beyond the arc with a triple here. And here again, Day Ahmed with the old-fashioned three-point play. She was sensational. And to end the half, Sharice Pittman, 15 first-half points for the Seawolves.
Knocked that one down at the buzzer. She led Stony Brook, which leads it by 3. Halftime stats presented by Block Sports Chiropractic and Physical Therapy. Stony Brook shot over 50%. The big one down there at the bottom, partner, turnovers. Drexel, 9 turnovers in the first half. They only averaged 12 a game.
And Stony Brook was able to capitalize. They scored 14 points off of those turnovers, and that's a big part of the game for Stony Brook. And as you mentioned, several players on the bench, Annie Warren and Gigi Gonzalez, they've combined for 2 points here in the first half, yet Stony Brook still up 3.
It's all smiles for Sharice Pittman, who had the 15. She is our Jake's 58 player of the half. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 7 of 11 from the floor. Pav mentioned the foul trouble. Both Gigi Gonzalez and Annie Warren are back out on the floor to start the second half for Stony Brook. Remember, Gigi Gonzalez did not play at all in the second quarter.
No, she did not. Stony Brook has to figure out a way to get Warren and Gonzalez involved in the offense without disrupting the flow that Pittman, King, and Ahmed have had here in the first half.
It seems like it's been a different 3 every night for Stony Brook here as of late. Coming off of back-to-back games where they had 3 players with 20 points each. King starts the second half with a 3 that rolls off the rim, and Kylie Lavelle picks up the rebound for Drexel. Dragons led for the majority of that first half, but gave it up late to Stony Brook. We'll see what DU can do on the road, trailing by 3, trying to maintain first place in the conference. Maura Hendrickson out top.
Yeah, Drexel's going to need somebody else to take help on the shoulder the offensive load besides Washington. I mean, they rely on her a lot, but they got contributions all around as she knocks down a triple, and that's what Stony Brook can't do. You can't allow her to get 2 good looks at the basket. She's going to make you pay.
She's got 22 now. Second 3 is good for Washington, and we are tied up again. Warren with a wraparound feed for Pittman, who's tangled up with Hendrickson. She's called for the foul. That is her first and the team's first to start the third quarter.
Yeah, that one's going to be on the floor. Stony Brook will take it out underneath their own basket. And I like what Ashley Langford designed there. Let's get Annie Warren, get into the basket, get her a bucket, get her in the flow.
Gigi Gonzalez inbounds for Stony Brook. Finds Almond on the perimeter. Annie Warren very quiet in that first half. Pulls up for the jumper and misses it short. Lavelle with another rebound for Drexel.
That's a tough shot by Warren, well contested.
Washington controls. Here's Hendrickson. Back to Washington. Playing patty cake with Hendrickson, who zips it in for Lavelle. Good post position on Pittman, but too strong off the window. And now Stony Brook can run with some numbers. A little 4-on-4. Day Almond behind the play. Gonzalez tried to throw up the layup, no good. Marla King comes away with the offensive rebound.
Both Warren and Gonzalez have to stay patient. They can't force the issue. We know they're trying to get into the scoring column, trying to help on the offensive end, but stay in the flow.
Almond creates a little space and knocks down the J for 2.
Almond may have gotten away with a little bit of a push there with the right forearm. It goes nonetheless.
She's got 9, and Stony Brook takes the lead again. Almond 4 of 9 from the floor. Washington working on the 22-point day. Little step-back jumper, rattles it down. Keishana Washington. How good is this kid?
So tough to guard. That quick punch dribble, stop on a dime, and knocks down a pull-up jump shot.
Tied up for the 9th time this afternoon. Nobody has really been able to gain separation. Largest lead is 7 by Drexel. Warren catch and shoot. Down and out on the 3-ball. And Almond able to sky for the rebound. Got a whistle. They're going to call this a tie-up. Let's see what Jorge Martinez says. It's a foul against Drexel's Kylie Lavelle.
And that's Stony Brook's 3rd offensive rebound here early on in the 3rd quarter. Doing a nice job going to the glass, using their athleticism.
That's the 3rd foul on Lavelle. She's got to come out. Chloe Hodges checks back in. Almond gets a breather on the bench. Khalees Corley enters the game for Stony Brook. Warren, she got fouled on the perimeter by Hendrickson. That's quickly her 2nd and already the team's 3rd with 7:15 to go in the 3rd quarter.
In the first half, it was Stony Brook who got into foul trouble quickly. Now it's Drexel. Drexel being a little bit more aggressive on the defensive end, contesting, denying. Usually they're switching and kind of making you beat them from the perimeter in that matchup zone.
Gonzalez drives to the basket, and the lefty scoop is there for Gigi.
And Washington had to be careful there. She's got 2 personal fouls, kind of let Gonzalez go to the basket, and Gonzalez on the board for Stony Brook.
First points for Agent Zero, 41-39 Seawolves. Hodges couldn't get it to roll.
Yeah, great back cut there by Hodges. She's a natural left-hander, missed the right-hander there.
Little toss back for King. Drives off the bounce and then lost it to Pittman. Washington with the steal.
Unfortunate for Stony Brook. That was a nice delivery. Just couldn't get a handle on it.
Washington back to the basket, working on Warren. Pivots for the fadeaway. Misses it off the back iron. Clawed out by Satman. Second chance for the Dragons as Hendrickson misses from downtown, and there's a foul on the rebound going the other way to Stony Brook. They're going to get Hodges underneath. That's her 2nd and the team's 4th.
Great job by Stony Brook boxing out on that last shot. Hendrickson had a good look at that one.
Stony Brook able to survive the 2nd chance from Drexel. They lead it by 2. They can move into first place in the league with a win. Corley on the wing.
And get a little revenge from the last time these 2 teams hooked up.
Pittman fires off the rim. Hendrickson on the run with the rebound for Drexel.
Pretty good crowd here tonight, Sam, and they're being treated to a real high-level game of basketball. These are 2 terrific basketball teams.
One of the best ones we've seen this year, partner. King off the dish from Gonzalez. It's Marla King for the bucket.
And that's what Stony Brook missed. Gonzalez runs this offense, can push and transition, create for herself. That time, the beautiful look inside from Marla King.
We caught up with Ashley Langford before the game. She said sometimes Gigi doesn't even know that she's playing at such a high level, such a humble competitor, always looking to get better.
Yeah, always at breakneck speed, but under control.
A little entry feed for Pittman denied by Satman. Another turnover for Stony Brook as Washington almost lost it.
Yeah, bad angle on that interior pass. Gonzalez has to take a dribble or 2 down a little bit, hook that pass in.
That is Satman, the senior from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, with it. O'Neal forces a 3. Not necessarily her game, it's short. Gonzalez with the rebound, up ahead for Warren. Had to tiptoe the baseline. It can only throw it away on the bench. Turnover.
And Gonzalez only knows one speed, as fast as humanly possible. That time a little bit too strong on that pass for Warren. She wants to explore. She wants to get some easy buckets, and that's been a big part of the Stony Brook success. They've scored over 80 points in their last 2 games, and when you get that backcourt going, Stony Brook real tough to guard.
Well, Drexel has not scored in nearly 3 minutes here. They trail it by 4. Marla King just went to the bench. Night Long is checked in for Stony Brook. O'Neal wide open in the corner, and this time she knocks it down. Grace O'Neal, the true freshman, for 3.
Much better shot by O'Neal there. Was under control, had her feet set, had some daylight.
Warren pulls up and sticks the jumper. Stony Brook back up by 3. Just the 4th point of the game for Warren, who came into today averaging 17 per game, 3rd best in the conference. Under 4.5 to go in the 3rd. Washington kicks up another jumper, no good, and Toulon with the rebound. .24 points on the day for Washington, 7 of 19 from the floor. 4-minute mark, 3rd quarter. Warren had it poked by Washington and now has to regather. 8 on the shot clock. Gonzalez directing traffic. Screen from Tawong. Gonzalez with 2 on the timer. Back for Warren. Fires up a 3. Never got there. Washington with the deflection.
And I thought Gonzalez should have went. She got the high screen by Tawong, had the mismatch with Satman on her. She just should have kept going to the basket with the right hand. Instead, that's the 13th turnover on the evening for the Seawolves.
First media timeout of the third. Stony Brook by 3. Be back after these messages. CAA Commissioner Joe D'Antonio in the house today at Stony Brook. Always making the rounds, gets to as many games as possible. One of the best commissions in college sports, Pat, and he's been treated to a really good game here, a 3-point Stony Brook lead.
Yeah, terrific commissioner, great personality. I can see him now. He's on his phone checking all the out-of-town scoreboard, and he has certainly been treated to a good one today.
It's 45-42, Stony Brook, 3:44 to go in the third quarter. Sam Niederman along with Rob Pavanelli, our director, Brian Kazaks, the rest of our great crew here on SNY. Hope you're having a nice Sunday afternoon. Both of these teams battling for potentially first place in the conference when it's all said and done. Second games of the conference weekend, Friday, Sunday schedule for the CAA. Stony Brook, of course, didn't have a weekday game. They've got fresh legs, only have played one game this week. It's this one.
It gives them a little extra time to prepare for this Drexel offense and to prepare for Kashina Washington.
Hendrickson had to force up that jumper late in the shot clock. And Naito Wong stretches for the rebound. Stony Brook with another stop. Drexel won for his last 9. It's Gonzalez. Oh, circus move to the basket for Agent Zero.
Wow. What a sensational move by Gonzalez. The ball handling, the little English, and the finish.
Ashley Langford had a terrific reaction on the bench. Everybody just lit up at that move.
And that is what Gonzalez can do. Such an exciting basketball player.
Denial by Khalees Corley, 11 on the timer. You just get a little bit of sense, maybe some of Uncle Mo going to Stony Brook here in the third quarter. Take another look.
Look at the use of the bounce here. Behind the back, the step through, the Euro, and the English. Gigi Gonzalez getting it done.
We talk about character development. She came in here. It's hard to believe. She was a true freshman. That was the year Stony Brook was the America East regular season champ. Of course, COVID canceled the NCAA tournament. She has turned into really a bona fide star. O'Neal. No good on the 3 late in the timer, but got her own miss. Big offensive rebound for Drexel. Let's see if they can do anything with it.
Yeah, Gonzalez learned behind some pretty good point guards, took over from Shorty Johnson and KK Hilaire, and she has certainly continued a long line of excellent Stony Brook point guards.
4 to shoot for Drexel. It's Satman in the high post. Tough jumper, down and out. King with the rebound, and Stony Brook survives.
Again, another one and done. Stony Brook doing a great job on the glass.
Gonzalez inside, Pittman, no good. Hajduk with the rebound.
And that might have been the easiest look Pittman had all game. Another good pass there by Gonzalez, knifing her way through traffic.
Drexel has got to get off the schneid. You saw the graphic there, 1 for its last 11 from the floor. They've gone cold here in the third quarter. It's O'Neal on the perimeter. 10 to shoot, Hendrickson.
And no Washington on the floor right now to bail him out.
O'Neal, no good. Clawed out by Satman, but nobody home. Warren, been quiet. Down and out for 3. And it's staying with Stony Brook with 1:20 to go in the third quarter. And right on cue, here comes Keshana Washington.
Great extra look there by Sharice Pittman. She had an open look at the top of the key with the 3. Saw Warren wide open in the corner. That's usually automatic for Annie Warren. Rattled in and out.
Remember, she's still chasing that 3-point record. Needs 2 more threes to set the program mark. Uncharacteristic 4 points so far today. Pittman rise and fire. Off the left side, and Hendrickson with the rebound for Drexel.
Good closeout there by Satman on a little jab step again by Pittman.
Dragons are down by 5. Keshana Washington, their star, back on the floor. Backing in with less than a minute to play in the third. Little fake and a floater. No good. Allman with the rebound. Day wants to run, and now she'll back it out in the corner. Warren gets the feet set for 3. Short. Pittman looking for the rebound. It's King. Working through traffic and banks it in. It's Marla King on the putback.
And Stony Brook's athleticism is starting to show here in that second quarter, now into the third quarter. They're doing a great job on the glass on both ends of the floor, using their speed, using their quickness, and they've built a 7-point lead.
It is a 10-3 run for Stony Brook. Drexel hasn't scored in over 4 minutes. 3-second difference between shot and game clock here for Drexel. 8 on the timer. It's Hendrickson. Fires it over to Jasmine Valentine. Only 3 to shoot. Valentine from the elbow. And she hits it. Tough shot for Jasmine Valentine. She comes off the bench and delivers a big basket for Drexel to end the third. But Stony Brook with the momentum, heading to the fourth with the lead, up by 5.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion, obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
Ever wonder why Lidl charges so little for their fresh baked goods?
No.
I heard Lidl's bakery is subsidized by the travel industry. See that guy with the pretzel? Clearly he wants to go to Germany. I'm gonna tell the others. Lidl.
My biggest fear was losing my life, and I am a 3-time cancer survivor. They cured me. I didn't think it was possible when I heard what I had, lung cancer. You want to hold on to every second and spend more time with your family. And I'm living the way I should be living, not worrying about going for treatment because it's cured. And I'll be grateful for New York Cancer for that for the rest of my life.
There are jobs, and then there are careers. Build your future at Riverhead Building Supply, a family-owned company in business for over 70 years. Riverhead Building Supply has openings in all areas, from seasonal jobs to full-time careers. We need CDL drivers, yardmen, salespeople, and purchasing and IT support. Join a booming industry. Apply now at rbscorp.com/careers.
Welcome back to Stony Brook, New York. Set to start the fourth quarter. Sam Niederman along with Rob Pavanelli. Stony Brook on top of Drexel 49-44. Big battle for first place. And it was the Gigi Gonzalez highlight reel. Ticket Smarter, smart play of the game coming back in the third, Pat.
Outstanding move there by Gonzalez. Brought the crowd to its feet. Brought me and you to our feet.
Pretty crazy play. Gigi with the Ticket Smarter smart play of the game. Ticket Smarter, the smartest way to buy tickets. 6 for Gigi. Obviously was saddled with foul trouble. Did not play in that second quarter.
And Drexel was on a 4.5-minute scoring drought before that big bucket there at the buzzer by Jasmine Valentine. And now they have the basketball back here to start the fourth.
Kishana Washington right to work, and she gets fouled again. Khalees Corley called for the foul. That is her third, and the team's first to start the fourth.
And Stony Brook did a great job in that third quarter of containing Washington without fouling her. She had 8 first-half free throws, none in that third quarter. And here we go, right back at the free throw line to start the fourth.
Game high 24 points, 7 of 20 from the floor, 8 of 8 at the line, as Pat mentioned. Annie Warren checks back in for Corley, who's on the bench with the 3 personals. 83% free throw shooter, perfect this afternoon. And she keeps it that way, 9 for 9. She's molded into becoming a star player, according to her head coach, Amy Mallon. A former 6th player of the year in the conference. She was a Scholar Athlete of the Year last year, so she hasn't always had the leading role in the Drexel cast list, but this year, unquestionably, the number 1 player.
No doubt about it. Number 1 player in the conference. Certainly, you know, the conversation starts and probably ends with her for CAA Player of the Year.
Gonzalez bounces in for King, just able to save it. 3-point lead for Stony Brook. Allman looking for more off the back heel. Valentine, who had that big basket to end the third, gets the rebound. Drexel within 1 score. They can tie it with a 3.
That was certainly a big momentum boost for the Dragons, that bucket by Valentine, and she out here down 3 with a chance to tie.
Washington, the runner, got it to go. Kishana Washington, 28 points. 1-point game here on Long Island. It's Warren, the corner 3. Off the mark. Valentine extends for the rebound.
And Warren struggling to find the mark from beyond the arc right now. 0 for 6 from 3.
Washington back to Hendrickson, who started the break. Nice cut, Washington! Give her 30 on the game, and the lead back to Drexel.
And after Stony Brook did an incredible job defensively in that third quarter, shutting down this tough Drexel offense to guard, they have come out, and they're looking terrific on the offensive end.
It's a 30-burger for Washington. Allman, the baseline drive, and she gets fouled. So Day-Day Allman will be at the free throw line for Stony Brook. Take another look at the foul. It's the first team foul on Drexel.
And Allman's been doing a great job exploring on the defensive end, getting in the lane, on the offensive end, getting in the lane, has finished a couple of big buckets. This time didn't get it to go, but will head to the line.
Allman sinks the first, 64% free throw shooter. Has come on down the back half of this season. Grad transfer from Southern Miss, native of Athens, Georgia, grew up outside the University of Georgia campus. Goes 1 for 2 at the line. We're still tied 50-50, 8:18 to go in the game. Grace O'Neal down in the corner. Washington ISO on the block, pivoting in the lane. And that fall-away jumper is just too good. Kishana Washington working in the lane.
I mean, for a small guard, I mean, she just has such terrific post skills, footwork, the pump fakes, silky smooth.
32 for Washington. Gonzalez looking to answer. Hard shot there by the hoop. She's able to hang and hit to make it 52 all.
And Stony Brook may have gotten away with a little bit of an illegal screen right there. And we've got the 12th tie of this terrific basketball game.
The largest lead has been 7 by either team. Lavelle wide open. Rim glass miss. Valentine out muscles on the offensive glass for 2.
Another big bucket by Valentine. Terrific offensive rebounder. Doing some dirty work down low.
Drexel with the lead again. Allman trapped on the sideline. Uses her dribble to get out of it. 7 minutes to play. Warren hasn't made a 3, decides to drive. Tough pass for Pittman, who gets fouled by Valentine. She'll be at the line shooting 2.
And Pittman a little upset with herself there. Thought she could have had a 3-point play. Terrific look along the baseline by Warren. Drexel did a nice job of closing out on Warren. She goes to the basket, and that one hung on the rim. Pittman unable to get it to go.
Pittman, 15 points. All of them came back in the first half. She was scoreless in the third. First foul shot goes. Give her 16 on the game. 73% free throw shooter. The transfer from JMU, sophomore from Richmond, Virginia. Terrific high school player. The Virginia Independent Circuit. Won a state championship in 2020 at the Stewart School. She misses a second, and Drexel still leads it by 1. Backdoor feed for Washington. Finds Valentine, who dives home for the basket.
Some miscommunication there defensively by Stony Brook. Washington way too open, no rotation on Valentine and an easy basket. And Stony Brook has not looked like the same team defensively here in the fourth quarter.
A crucial breakdown for the Seawolves. They trail it by 3. Almond drives into the lane, scoops it up, and gets the roll. Day-Day Almond kisses it off the window. It's back down to a 1-point game. 6 and change to play. Who wants first place? Washington, they clear out for her again. Already has 32. Back it in against Almond. Shimmies to the baseline and knocks down the jumper. Keishana Washington going to work again.
And Stony Brook may have to double down on her later on here in this fourth quarter. Can't allow her to continue to just back down and shoot that little fadeaway.
34, the game high for Washington. Her career high 42 earlier this year against Penn State. Almond circling in, tough basket off the window.
Anytime Washington hits a bucket, Almond has an answer on the other end, and look for Drexel to again go to Washington right now. They're surrounding her with shooters. They're letting her post up, letting her operate right there. I think that double has to come from off of Valentine.
There it is, rotation for Hendrickson. 11 on the shot clock. Back to Washington. Fires up a quick J. Oh, it's good. Keishana Washington taking over in the fourth.
You kidding me?
Wow. She's on one. En fuego, 36 for K-Dub. Almond. A little toss back for Gonzalez. And her shot took a deflection from Lavelle. Still a 3-point game, Drexel in control.
And Stony Brook in desperate need of a stop. Drexel has had their way offensively here in the fourth quarter.
Under 4.5 to go. Washington has put the team on her back, looks in for Valentine. Slips it for Lavelle, who adjusts at the basket for the lay-in.
Great extra pass there, a little pocket pass. Stony Brook late on the rotation, and Ashley Langford wants a timeout. Down 5.
Stony Brook has to call for time. Keishana Washington and Drexel have taken control. They've got the lead with 4:15 to go. Keishana Washington has taken over on Long Island. 36 points. Pavs, she's given Drexel a 5-point lead and has really saved her best for last.
No, she certainly has. Cutting, posting up, knocking down the triples. She is doing it all on the offensive end, and so much attention has to be paid to her that it opens up easy buckets for her teammates, and well, she is certainly the real deal.
She's been able to go ISO. They clear out for her, as you just saw there. That fadeaway turnaround jumper has been a killer for her as you get a look at the numbers. 36 points, 12 of 25 from the field, 10 of 10 at the foul line. An advantage Drexel here in this fourth quarter, 18-8. Pick it back up, 4:09 to play. Stony Brook down by 5 in desperate need of a basket.
And Stony Brook has not been able to run at all because Drexel has been so effective scoring on the offensive end.
Pittman got tangled up with Valentine in the paint, and she'll go to the line after the contact, and we'll step away with another timeout. 4 minutes to go. Drexel 62, Stony Brook 57. This is Stony Brook Hoops on SNY.
Wolfie gets the ball. He drives to the basket and scores. Oh no, Wolfie's injured. I hope it's not serious. Stony Brook Medicine Advanced Imaging, only 2 miles from campus, has state-of-the-art technology and is led by subspecialist radiologists, experienced technologists, and a friendly staff. Advanced Imaging offers many tests including CT, MRI, ultrasound, 3D mammography, and PET CT. Call 631-638-2600 for an appointment.
At Stony Brook Medicine, we pioneered a faster way to recover from joint surgery. So Greg barely missed a step. We have a level 1 trauma center, the highest in the region, so Frank can keep playing once upon a time. We are home to a nationally recognized diabetes center, so Anita never misses a celebration. Working together to make your life stronger. We are Stony Brook Medicine. All we do is all for you.
The Long Island State Veterans Home at Stony Brook University provides skilled nursing care to veterans, their spouses, and Gold Star parents, offering short-term rehabilitation, long-term care including Alzheimer's, dementia care, and end-of-life care. We stand ready to serve those who served our nation. If you know a veteran in need, call us at 631-444-VETS or online at listateveteranshome.org.
Long Island State Veterans Home, serving those who served.
Ashley Langford and Stony Brook looking for a comeback here. 4 minutes to play. Drexel leads it 62-57. Sam Niederman, Rob Pavanelli, Director Brian Kazak, Statistician Jeff Bernstein, the rest of our terrific crew here with you on SNY. Sharice Pittman will be at the line shooting free throws for Stony Brook. After that, Pat, they've got to get a stop defensively.
Well, they're going to have to get a couple of stops, and they're going to have to try and figure out a way to slow down Keishana Washington. It's going to have to come through a double team, but when you double, you have to do a better job rotating. They've not been able to help the helper last couple possessions, and Drexel's been able to get a couple easy buckets.
You saw Amy Mallon peering at the stats. Sharice Pittman hits the first free throw. 4-point game now, 62-58.
Plenty of time left. 4 minutes left to go. Stony Brook does not have to rush on the offensive end, but they do have to get some stops.
Misses a second, but Allman grabs the rebound. Stony Brook will take its time. Gonzalez with the reset. Seawolves trail it by 4. Warren, big spot for a 3, and she cans it. First one of the game for Annie Warren. Couldn't have come at a better time. 1-point ball game.
No doubt about it. 0 for 6 coming into that one. Got her feet set. Now Stony Brook down 1.
For what it's worth, she ties Shorty Johnson for the most three-pointers made in program history. Needs one more for the record. 3:30 to play. Washington has put the team on her back all fourth quarter. Backing in against Allman. The double from Gonzalez. 6 to shoot. Valentine in the corner. Behind the back handle. 2 to shoot. And a whistle coming from Hillary Harwell. It's going to be a foul against Marla King. with 2 on the shot clock.
What a killer foul that was. Stony Brook did a great job defense, rotating, communicating. They had exactly what they wanted. Only a couple seconds left to go on the shot clock. Valentine not really a great offensive perimeter player, and the foul bailed him out.
Reset it for a fresh 20. Get it in for Valentine. Washington dumps it for Valentine, who loses it on the baseline, and this time it'll go the other way to the Seawolves.
And that's the first mistake by Valentine all night long. She's been terrific. 8 points off the bench, doing a nice job on the defensive end, as well as rebounding the rock.
Stony Brook down by 1. 3 minutes to play. First place on the line. Seawolves looking for revenge after getting blown out at Drexel in January. Almond cut it too long off the backboard. Drexel dodges a bullet, and Maura Hendrickson settles into the front court. Dragons trying to go on the road where they have struggled this season, just 6-5 away from home. They've been perfect in Philly, 10-0 at home. Washington, no good. Rebound loose on the ground, and whistles for a jump ball possession to Stony Brook.
Good job there by Day Almond, giving up the body. She was not going to let that one go. That was a fumble like in the NFL. No football this Sunday, but she got after it.
2:25 to play. Stony Brook can take the lead here with a bucket of any kind. Handoff for Gonzalez, circling in, lays it home. Stony Brook back on top by a penny.
A sensational job there offensively. Good call by Ashley Langford. Got Gonzalez going downhill in the finish with the left hand.
Under 2 minutes to play. What does Drexel have to say? Hendrickson out on the perimeter.
You get the ball to Washington.
Game
That's
high.
what they're going to say.
That's right. 36, and Amy Mallon's going to talk this one over. Timeout, Dragons.
11 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Amy Mallon wants to draw one up, make sure she gets Washington the basketball in where the spot she likes, which is just about anywhere on the floor.
All right, partner, buckle up. Going to have a good last 149 in this one. Remind you what's at stake. Drexel currently tied for first place right now. Stony Brook just a half game back. If they win, they'd move into a share of first place with North Carolina A&T, which has the head-to-head over them. But they would get a huge win to move to 8-2 in the conference. Drexel would drop to 8-3. If the Dragons win, they're 9 up and 2 down. They still have a shot at that regular season crown. Hard to believe that we're down the stretch of the season, but both of these teams starting to find their form, and they've been playing like it today, and we're going to see who comes out on top in crunch time.
Absolutely, and I really like the answer by Stony Brook. Ashley Langford called a timeout. They regrouped on the defensive end. They've done a much better job rotating, taking Washington away the last couple of possessions, and on the offensive end, they've executed extremely well. But look for Amy Mallon to draw something up pretty good right here on the offensive end.
Veteran coach for Drexel, who's in her 3rd season as the head coach, 16 years as an assistant under Denise Dillon, who left after 2020, take the job at her alma mater of Villanova. She's done a great job there. There we go. 1:49 to go. 1 point lead for Stony Brook. 11 on the timer for Drexel out of the timeout. Hendrickson off the handoff. Washington has space. Pull-up jumper. No good. And Warren with the rebound.
Washington with a wide open look off that flare screen.
She's made so many key shots tonight, but not that one. 1:30 to play. Stony Brook still by a point. Warren tosses it back for Gonzalez. The 2-star guards have been quiet. Can they come up large down the stretch? Almond almost juggled it. 7 to shoot. Almond on the perimeter. 4 to shoot. Day going alone on the baseline. Gonzalez, corner 3, no good. Satman wrestling the rebound, and the jump ball will give it back to Drexel.
Yeah, rattled in and out for Gonzalez. Great look by Almond on the drive. And Stony Brook going to have to get another stop on the offensive end.
Stony Brook trailed at 62-57. They have scored the last 6 unanswered. Drexel in the midst of a 3-minute scoring drought. And Amy Mallon will call timeout again. 1:05 to play. Second timeout spent by Drexel. They've got 2. Stony Brook has 3. If you're in the Dragons huddle, where are you going? Probably an obvious answer. I'd say get 4 on the other end of the floor and get out of the way for number 1.
Yeah, just get her the basketball where she wants it the most right now. And that last time down, they ran that little flare screen once again. She had a wide open jumper along the baseline. But Stony Brook has to be careful. You can't only concentrate on Washington. She's an unselfish player. Regardless of, she's got 36 points. She shares the basketball, finds her teammates when they're open, and can obviously create her own at any given time.
She's out of the huddle for Drexel. Possession arrow does favor Stony Brook. Stony Brook 3 fouls to give. Drexel 2 fouls to give. 1:05 left. Still a 1-point Stony Brook lead. Here's Washington. Met by a double. 1 minute left. Drexel down by 1. Washington inching back in. Finds Hendrickson. Return feed Washington. Forces a tough jumper and rattles it home. Keishana Washington rises to the occasion. The clutch jumper to give Drexel the lead. 49 seconds to play.
And there really is no answer for that, Sam. She backs you down and then fades away against the grain, off the opposite shoulder, into the corner. I mean, you just can't guard that. Look at this. I mean, that is a WNBA caliber move right there. And I know she has aspirations to potentially play someday, and she certainly has the talent.
38 points now for Washington. 13 made field goals on 28 attempts, none bigger than that one. And now the pressure shifts to Stony Brook, trailing by 1. 49.7 seconds to play. 2 timeouts remaining for both teams. 3 team fouls on Drexel, 2 team fouls on Stony Brook, and Ashley Langford talking with her team in the huddle right now.
And again, they have to be patient here on the offensive end. It doesn't have to be a 2. It doesn't have to be a 3. Run your stuff. Don't let the clock go down too far in the shot clock in the possession. You don't want to take a tough shot right here. Get the ball in Gonzalez's hands, let her create. Get the ball in Ammon's hands, let her create, and fan out Annie Warren for that jumper.
Drexel breaks the huddle. Looking to find a way to grind one out on the road. They held off a late comeback by Northeastern on Friday, won that game by 6. Trying to win this one here against Stony Brook.
And don't forget that both Pittman and King are terrific scorers and can shoot the basketball.
Let's do it. 46 seconds to go. Stony Brook down by 1. Warren out top. Picked up her dribble, clears to Pittman. Working on Washington, almost lost it. Warren off the reset. King dribbles on the baseline. Finds Pittman, who gets fouled by Hendrickson on the recovery.
A terrific foul there by Hendrickson, and she just clamped down, did not allow Pittman to get that shot off. Going to have to make it earn on the free throw line.
Third personal on Hendrickson and the 14th foul on Drexel. Pittman will shoot 2.
A good pass there by King, and you see Hendrickson just clamp down on the arms, and tonight Pittman is 2 for 6 from the line.
64% on the season. Makes the first. That'll tie it up 64 all.
You saw that reverse jinx I did there, right, Sam?
Yes, well done, partner. Pittman for the lead. Got it. 65-64, Seawolves. Timeout, Drexel.
I tell you what a great basketball game. Great exhibition of coaching by both teams. I mean, this is a high-caliber basketball game, well coached. This is everything you would want coming into this game. First place on the line, terrific individual performances, great defense, great teams. This is basketball at its best.
So now Drexel's going to get the ball back, Pav. There's a 1 second difference between shot and game clock. Theoretically, they could have the last look at it here.
Well, they certainly could. I don't know if that's what you want to do, especially when you have a player of Washington's caliber. You know, let her make the decision. See, let her read the defense. 50-year senior, has seen every kind of defense imaginable to mankind. Get her the basketball, let her create. If she's got an opening, let her take it.
All right, let's rock and roll. 31 seconds, 1 second difference, shot and game clock. It's Washington who goes quick and drains it. Keishana Washington with a 40 bomb. And that gives Drexel the lead back.
And exactly like you said before, clear out one side, get her the basketball, let her operate the beautiful pull-up jump shot. And we've got end-to-end, back-to-back action. And let's take another look at this by Washington. Just gets the basketball, stops on a dime, help too late, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Cold as ice from Keishana Washington. Now 2 points off her career high, which she got earlier this year against Penn State in an overtime win. The stat line, terrific. The tension continues to rise as Stony Brook has it down by 1. They have 1 timeout, 27.5 to play. Shot clock turned off now.
The difference right here down the stretch is that Drexel has a player that can get her shot at any time. Stony Brook really has to work on the offensive end to get a good look.
Here we go, 27.5 to go in regulation. Get it in for Gonzalez. Gets the screen from Pittman, drives to the basket, tough left-hand shot, won't go. Rebounds loose, and off of Stony Brook last. It's Drexel ball, 18.5 seconds to play. And Amy Mallon wants to use her final timeout.
Yeah, using that last timeout, advance the basketball, don't allow Stony Brook to set up the pressure.
Gigi Gonzalez had the opportunity for Stony Brook in traffic. Wasn't able to connect on the tough runner.
That was a tough shot with the left hand, even though she does an outstanding job finishing with the left hand. Good defense there by Drexel, standing straight up. And here, nobody touched it, and then it went off Stony Brook on that last shot. Pittman may have tried to get that, tried to save that. I don't know if she was aware of who touched that last.
Well, now with the foul situation, Stony Brook, if they don't get a steal, they only have 2 team fouls, so they've got 3 to give before Drexel is shooting in the bonus.
Well, allows them to be really aggressive right here. They're going to look to trap right away, try and get a steal, try and get a turnover, and then go for the foul. You can give 3, 4, maybe even 5 seconds right here, and then go for the foul and do it all over again. You want to be aggressive right here and take an opportunity, take a chance down 1.
The good news for Stony Brook, too, the foul situation has evened out after the first half. Remember, Gonzalez and Warren were both hampered with 2 fouls for most of the first half. Day Almond as well. They still only have 2 fouls. Just checked in with Mike May, one of our 3 officials. As you see, Hillary Harwell and Jorge Martinez at the monitor. They're looking to make sure they got the possession right on that last tip to make sure it went out of bounds off of Stony Brook last. So let's take another look at it with them.
Here's the shot by Gonzalez, and wow, there's 3 or 4 hands in there. Not exactly sure who that went off of.
And Jasmine Valentine looked to be in the mix for Drexel. There are multiple players for either team.
What a big call this would be if they reverse it. It's going to be hard to reverse right there.
Official review presented by Stony Brook Ophthalmology, as always. 1 point Drexel lead with 18.5 seconds left. Drexel does not have any more timeouts. Stony Brook with 1 timeout. Hillary Harwell and Jorge Martinez taking a look at this last play to make sure they got the possession right. I think, Pav, it's either King or Valentine who hit that last. And
it looked like King's right hand may have knocked it away, and they're gonna have one more look at it, get another
set of eyes.
Get another couple eyes in it, because I can't tell. It's going to have to be conclusive in order for them to reverse this call, and I have not seen anything that tells me, hey, they're going to reverse this one.
And all the Stony Brook fans behind the monitor squinting to see if they can get a look at it. Amy Mallon in the huddle with her team. They have the lead. All right, let's see if this is flipped or if they're going to keep it the same. The officials come together to discuss it. Currently a call on the floor. Drexel ball off of Stony Brook last. And they might want one more look at it. Doesn't hurt to check twice and 3 times down the stretch at this juncture in the game. Hillary Harwell, Mike May, and Jorge Martinez are our crew.
And they've done an outstanding job tonight's game. This is a high-level basketball game, and it was officiated at a high level. They did a tremendous job. calling it fair, balanced, and they don't look like I could sit there as a coach and say, you know what, I don't think they really missed a call. They've been outstanding.
All right, here comes Jorge Martinez. He's going to give us the explanation.
And we have just gotten a call from Jorge Martinez. They're going to reverse the call. It is going to be Stony Brook basketball underneath. What a big call in this basketball game.
Wow. Amy Mallon getting the explanation right now. Obviously not too happy about it.
And giving the evil eye as well. That.
Wouldn't want to be Mike May delivering that news. So Stony Brook's going to get the ball here. 18.5 seconds to go. That changes everything.
Plenty of time here. They can reset. They can try maybe something baseline out of bounds. They've designed several good baseline out of bounds play over the season that we've watched. So look for a couple of different things. I think you really have to get the basketball into Gigi Gonzalez's hands. Let her create once again, either for herself or her teammate. And now they're just checking the time. They've added 0.2 onto the clock to 18.7.
0.2 of a second added, 18.7 seconds remaining. Both coaches making sure they're on the same page for the final act of this one. Stony Brook a chance to regain the lead after the call gets reversed. Drexel trying to hang on to a 1-point lead. Stony Brook with a second chance off the inbound. Gonzalez will trigger it in. Finds Warren on the sideline. The screen from Pittman has Sapman off the switch. Warren bounces in. Pittman falling away. No good. Sapman the rebound. Whistle for a tie-up, and possession will keep it with Stony Brook.
And that was a good look for Pittman. Just a little bit too strong. And Drexel calling that they said they called a timeout prior to the jump ball, but to no avail. It's going to be Stony Brook basketball.
Amy Mallon not happy with Hillary Harwell. She's trying to say they got that timeout with possession from Sapman. But Stony Brook calls its final timeout with 9 seconds remaining.
And let's take another look at it. Pittman with a good look at the basket. Just a bit too strong. And there's the rebound, and we do see Amy Mallon in the background calling that timeout. I don't know if the officials saw it.
Regardless, Stony Brook will get a third chance under the basket, trying to find a way to break back on top. 66-65 Drexel. 9.2 seconds left in regulation. Gonzalez will inbound again. Gigi loops it in for Warren. 7 seconds, a screen from Pittman. Warren working on Washington. Allman, 3 seconds. Allman, tough jumper, no good. Buzzer sounds, Drexel escapes. The Dragons hang on at the last moment. 66-65 the final as Drexel comes to Long Island and gets the big road win.
Not exactly the shot the Seawolves want. A tough shot by Allman. Great defense by Drexel. But what a heck of a basketball game, Sam.
Incredible game. Ashley Langford and her Seawolves come up short. Drexel under siege in the last 18 seconds of the game, but they find a way to make 3 consecutive stops. After the call got reversed, they make 2 consecutive stops off the inbounds under the basket. And Amy Mallon and her team can exhale. They move to 9-2 in the league and remain in first place. A big-time road victory here on Long Island. Well, that'll do it for us from inside Island Federal Arena. Can't thank you enough for coming along for the ride. It was a great game as Stony Brook drops to 13-8 on the year, 7-3 in the league. Next Thursday, they'll head up to Boston to take on Northeastern. Drexel now 17-5, 9-2 in the conference. Next Friday, they're back at home in Philly against Charleston. For our outstanding crew, Director Brian Kazak, Statistician Jeff Bernstein, and Rob Pavanelli, I'm Sam Niederman saying so long from Long Island. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Drexel wins it 66-65.